the Hillers versus the Bellingham Blackhawks. Hopkinton enters the game at 1-1 with wins against Blue Hills at 26-0 and a loss against Westwood last week 9-6 with a last-minute field goal. Bellingham enters the game with a loss to King Philip the first in the season opener and a win against Dover Sherburne last week 35-12. My name is Scott Flannery. I'm going to give you the play-by-play, and giving you the color will be Ed Flannery. Bellingham is going to be receiving the ball today, and deep back for them is number 20, Jeremy Bernard, and number 30, Jeff LaRose. Ed, prior to the game, we were talking about the fact that this game's going to be won in the trenches. Any predictions on the outcome of the game?
Well, I got a prediction from one of the parents. Stu Glassman gave me a prediction before the game. He says Hopkinton 18-17, and I hope he's right. I really believe it's going to be a close-fought game. It's going to end up being who blocks the best out of the backfield. You know, they got big guys up front both sides, so they might end up neutralizing each other, and whoever does the best blocking out of the backfield will win the game. And I feel that Hopkinton has to mix it up a little bit more than they did last week. I realized last week was a heavy rain and stuff like that. But they got to open it up, throw a little pass to loosen up their defense so that they will give them more room to run.
Okay, we have the signals from the referees with the ball ready to kick. Doing the kicking duties today for Hopkinton is number 44, Dan Shirley. The kick is to number 19, Thompson, at about his 35-yard line, where he's taken down by number 8, Bill Mosier.
Carried by number 19, Jake Thompson.
So the ball's on the 50-yard line with 1st and 10 for the Bellingham Blackhawks.
Okay, we're going to set up our defense here. In the middle will be Paul Flannery at nose guard. Left tackle will be Mike Berry. Left end is Dave Clark. Over on the other side, we have Keith Lee at nose guard, at right tackle. Jason Daniels at right end.
Okay, calling the signals today for the Blackhawks is number 3, Jeff Smith. And they give us to Goya, the fullback, and he's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
And that's what they need. They got both Paul and Keith Lee right there in the middle. They stuffed that play. That's what they need. Well, to finish off the defense, we have Scott Glassman at linebacker, Neil Perry at the other linebacker, Brian Libby and Jeremy Hurd at the safeties, Brian Pepe and Billy Moser at the corners.
Okay, the Hawks come back out in 2nd and 9 to go. And Smith again calling the signals for the Blackhawks. They give us to Jacobs, the fullback, and he goes about 5 yards on the carry. Take that back. He's got enough for a first down, so he picks up 9 yards. So it'll be 1st and 10 with the ball on the 42-yard line of Hopkinton. Okay, so right off the start, the Blackhawks are taking it right to the Hillers on the run.
Yeah, well, they plan on running. That's what I read in the papers and everything. They want to run the ball, control the ball.
Okay, the give again is to Jacobs over the left side.
They seem to be tackling him too high. They got to get down lower.
Yeah, they picked up about 8 yards on the carry. They said in the papers that this kid, Jacobs, LaRose, and Goya, the 3 running backs for Bellingham, were picking up on the average 8 to 9 yards.
8 to 9, I read that too. But if you notice in that play, the front line was there. It was stopping the initial surge. But they just kept pushing, and then eventually he broke loose to pick up 5 yards.
Okay, Bellingham comes out with a split backfield and a flanker left.
There we go. There he is, tackle in the backfield.
Give again to Jacobs, number 40, but he's met hard by number 50, Paul Flannery, and looks like number 54, Mike Berry.
If you notice, just before the play, the front defensive line switched. Okay, we're going to look at that one again, folks. Well, I thought we were.
Okay, we're working out some bugs, so we're going to have some instant replay and stuff like that, so bear with us. Trying some new things this week.
No, well, like I was saying before, just before the snap of the ball, the defensive line moved over and looked like a slanting play.
Okay, it was a third down and 6, and Bellingham takes around the left-hand side, and looks like they're going to be short or real close to the first down. Referee's a signal, that is a 4.
Number 3, Greg Smith.
Well, if he has any faith in his offense and he's getting the 8 or 9 yards of carry, he's going for it. There's no doubt that he's going to try.
So we've got 4th and about a long yard with a little bit more than 7 minutes and 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first period.
Yeah, he's not even thinking of that.
Okay, so Bellingham is going to go for it with a 1 yard to go.
He's stuffed in the backfield.
So Hopkinton comes up in a...
He was met by Stu Stores in the backfield for a loss. Toppin takes over.
So the Hopkinton's ball, 1st and 10 at their 44 or 43 yard line.
First and 10 Hopkins on their own 43.
Well, that was the first big play of the game. We usually have about 20, right?
There's no doubt about that.
Well, we'll give you the Hopkinton offense here. We got Neil Perry at center, Keith Lee at left guard, Michael Berry at left tackle, Greg Robinson over there at left end. On the other side, we got Stu Soers at right guard, Paul Flannery at right tackle, and Steve Adward at right end.
Okay, we're going to give an end around to Aswad, number 84. He's got a lot of room. He's got some blockers in front.
Oh, we got to hold him.
And picks up enough for a first down, but we do have a flag on the play in the area of holding.
That was a first, in my opinion, was a first bad call. The ref that called it should have been this guy on the sideline. The one that called it was in the backfield, in the defensive backfield, and he threw it, and he didn't even have an angle to see it. It was a clean block from our angle here.
Okay, so that's going to bring the Hillers back 10 yards. Nice call with the coaching staff of Hopkinton to open it up early.
Right.
Too bad that, we get a penalty at the gates of the play. So we're going to have first down again, and first and 20.
Okay, let's finish up the offense. We have Brian Libby at the quarterback, Dan Shirley at fullback, Joe Diana at tailback, and Jason Flannery over there on the wingback.
Okay, we've got Libby calling the signals with Flannery in motion. And he drops back the pass. His intended receiver is Dan Shirley, and he gets the ball with about a 4-yard gain. So that'll bring up 2nd and 16, 2nd and 17. Okay, Pepe's now calling the signals for Hopkinton. He's going to roll right. He's feeling some pressure, and he gets the ball off before being sacked. The intended receiver was number 44, Dan Shirley. That'll bring up 3rd and 23 to go for the first.
Okay, I'm back. I just had a little bit of technical difficulty here.
Well, hopefully we get your technical difficulty taken care of.
Now, what I'd be looking for is a quick kick. Quick kick. There's nobody that deep for Bellingham. His chances of going 20 yards for a first down.
Okay, Pepe fakes to the tailback. He lets off the ball.
Lets it off.
The receiver is Aswad. He gets the reception.
He's got to make the first. He didn't make it.
And it's going to be short, well short of a first down, but gives Hopkinton plenty of room for punting. The ball is just shy of midfield, but Hopkinton still has another 8 or 9 yards to go for a first. So that'll bring up 4th and about 8.
That was an excellent call. He was wide open. He'll come back to that play.
Okay, Hopkinton runs 2 different quarterbacks every now and then. They come out with Libby, they come out with Pepe. Is there any story behind that, Ed?
No, I don't. I think he's a little bit more comfortable with Libby throwing, but they both do a good job.
Okay, the ball's going to be downed off the punt of Pepe at about the 35-yard line.
So what you said, as a punt of about 30 yards?
Thereabouts.
But if you go from the original line of scrimmage where they needed the first down.
It was only 10.
Yeah. Well, this is the second time that Hopkins has gone on defense. They let up a couple of big runs initially, but then when they had to tighten up on their own 40-yard line, they shut down the Bellingham rush.
Well, it's definitely been a battle in the trenches. Hopkins showing a lot more enthusiasm as far as you know, their play calling, much more than what Bellingham is. Okay, they get this, no, it's a fake option around the left side
they
where he
stuff it.
slips, and he's stuffed. Tackle on the play is by number 5, Libby, and number 7, Hurd.
Well, if you notice, Jason Daniels, the defensive end on the other side, the right side where they just ran the play, he came in and got on the quarterback early, so he made him make the pitch. He either was going to tackle him for a 5-yard loss or make him make the pitch. He pitched it, and the cornerback came up, and they stuffed him.
Okay, so that'll bring up 2nd and 13 for the Blackhawks with the ball on the 32-yard line. And number 21, Goya, goes in motion for the Blackhawks.
It's an inside move to the right.
To give us to number 30, Jeff LaRose, who picks up about 6 yards on the carry.
I don't know, did you see what I saw? You see that big number 75, Adam Bernard, come around the corner leading that play?
No,
I don't know if I'd want to be taking him on. He weighs about 298 pounds. We might as well pay 300.
Yeah, what's a couple of pounds between...
Yeah, between scales.
Yeah. He is one big load.
That's right. Well, it's 3rd down and 5. He's got a strong right formation.
Give this to Jacobs over the left side.
Yeah, he gets stuffed.
Gets stuffed again.
We got Paul Flannery on the tackle of that one, and Dave Clark didn't give up any ground, and he stood his ground, and they made the tackle in the backfield.
So we're forcing Bellingham to punt with 4th and 5, and a little less than 3 minutes to go in the first period.
Well, from what it looks like right here, it looks like our defensive line came to play this week.
Well, there was some talk about, you know, the big loss to Westwood and whether or not the kids would come out and be ready to play on Saturday, and I think that was all bull in the papers. We have flags down everywhere.
Right. Let's see what this is. If he blew the whistle and Hopkins didn't make contact, then it's got to be a motion penalty.
We'll wait for the call from the ref.
Yeah, they'll leave a motion.
So that'll drop him back another 5 yards. So it'll be 4th and 10. And in punting, back deep for Hopkinton will be number 9, Flannery, and number 84, Aswad. Both people are threats as far as running back punts, especially Aswad.
Yeah, he broke one out. The opening kickoff to open the season out there in Blue Hills.
Yeah, an 80-yard return.
They were going after that. They were going after it.
Flannery's going to field the ball in his own 29-yard line. He's going to take it around the right side where he's going to go
nowhere to go.
Just about the 30. So he had nowhere to go on that one.
He had nowhere to go, and he should have just lowered his head and went straight upfield and taking what he could get instead of trying to sidestep and go around.
I'm certainly sure you'll take care of that this afternoon when you get home.
That's right. When he's looking for his seconds at lunch or supper, we'll give him the speech.
All right, we got Libby coming back in for Hopkinton for quarterback. It's going to take us a while to figure out who's quarterbacking and when.
Okay, they send Jason out wide on the left-hand side here.
Okay, we have 1st and 10 with the ball on the 30. Fake to Diana, and the intended receiver is Dan Shirley and Jason Flannery. So Hopkinton comes out passing.
Well, Jason on his pattern was to do a deep post to clear the area, so when Shirley came across on a fullback drag, I guess we could call it, and Danny just didn't get over there fast enough. And plus the quarterback was under a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, the defensive line, especially number 75, Bernard, the load. He's a big kid. He's working against 2 today, do you know?
He definitely fills the shirt, don't he?
Yeah. Okay, Libby drops back again. And again, the intended receiver would be number 44, Dan Shirley, but it's an incomplete pass.
I'll tell you, all they're doing is blitzing, blitzing, blitzing. Now's a good time to run a fullback. It's fullback fire right up the middle. He drops straight back, hand it off to the fullback, and let him go.
Well, unfortunately now with 3rd and 10, you'd only be picking up a couple of yards.
I don't know. He breaks that initial line, and he could, you know, pick up about 20 or 30 yards.
Okay, we got Aswad flanker on the right and Flannery flanker on the left. And the give is
And
to
there it is, to Diana.
And he's going to pick up about 5 yards on the carry. Well short of the first down. We'll bring up 4th and 5, so the punting unit comes in for Hopkinton.
I think that was the right call. You know, give it a chance, because his passes, he hasn't been getting time to pass.
Well, you got to open up with, to establish the run, you've got to throw some passes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, back for punting for Hopkins is number 28, Brian Pepe, and back deep for Bellingham fielding is number 30, LaRose. Pepe gets off a good kick this time into the wind. Number 30, LaRose, is going to be tackled.
Tackled right where he caught it.
By number 88,
Dave Clark.
And I believe he's a sophomore, 6'1", 160 pounds.
You know, he started out the season at defensive end. He's played a heck of a defensive end in his spot. We mentioned his name earlier on one play where he didn't give up any ground and they made the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
He's playing some pretty good ball for a sophomore. All right, so it's Bellingham's ball, 1st and 10, with the ball on the 35-yard line with 1:18 to go in the first period. And they come out with a flanker left, split backfield. And the give is to LaRose.
It's a reverse.
Number 21 on the carry. Goya didn't fool the Hopkinton ball players at all. Only picked up 6 or 7 yards on the carry.
Right.
Reverses are made to, you know, at least get a first down or, you know, scores.
Right, but one thing I didn't like on that was Jeremy Hurd. He stood there for about 4 or 5 yards and waited for the man to run to him. Instead of going up and making the hit, he could have maybe saved his team a good 3 or 4 yards if he went up and tackled him. You know, well, he is a safety. Maybe that's what they teach him.
Okay, the give is to Jacobs up the middle, where he's met for no gain. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
Who was he tackled by? He was tackled by Keith Lee and Paul Flannery.
At number 49 coming out of the ball game for Hopkins and Scott Glassman, doing some serious limping. Did you have to see what happened to him, Ed?
I think he got hit from the side because I saw him, number 75, roll off him.
Okay, Smith gives on the option.
An option, he keeps it.
He's got enough for the first down, and he's going to be taken out of bounds just over the 50-yard line. Boy, I'll tell you, they run an awesome option.
Yeah, he still had a pitch man, even though he was running out of real estate to pitch it to him.
Yeah, number 20 was their trailer, Jeremy Bernard.
Well, it looks like somebody called a timeout. They're probably working on Glassman over there.
I think you get the end of the period.
Oh, okay.
Looks like that's what it's going to be, with the ball probably on the 49-yard line of Hopkinton when we come back from the first period.
Well, it comes at a good time. If Scott Glassman isn't hurt too much, they really need him out there. I believe he's a leading tackler on the team.
Not only that, it breaks the momentum of the of Bellingham. You know, they just started putting the drive together.
You're right. They were just starting to put a little drive. Now they get a break. Gives Hopkins a chance to regroup. That's what they need, a little regrouping right now. Of course, they played well. It's just that they got to come up and cover that outside run. This one is, you can see it growing right now. It is going to be a battle.
I think it's going to come right down to who's in shape as far as, you know, from working out for the last 6 to 8 weeks.
Yep, especially fourth quarter.
Yep. I know that you coach in the youth football, and I coached there for a couple of years too myself, and you tell the kids that all the conditioning and stuff is so that when you get to the fourth quarter, you're there to play.
That's right.
I think this is what this game is going to come down to. All right, so we've got the Blackhawks with second period action. They give us to Jacobs up the middle, where he's met by a host of Hopkinton ball players for about 1 yard gain.
Well, that was the Hopkinton High School band under the direction of Steve Barrow.
You know, you look over there and Paul is having a heck of a game so far. I mean, he's been on about 6 or 7 tackles right in the middle. I think they're finding that they're not going to be able to run them up the middle today, and they're going to have to take it to the outside. Shirley come up with a linebacker spot, who's filling in for Glassman right now.
Hopkinton doesn't give up too much in the defensive line either. I mean, they got some big boys. Okay, we've got number 30 in motion, LaRose.
It's an inside handoff. It's stuffed.
To give us to number 21, Goya.
That's Paul Flannery again on the tackle. Somebody came to play today. Maybe it was because I didn't give him anything to eat last night.
Did you give him breakfast?
No.
3rd and 7.
Okay, so that brings up 3rd and 7 for Bellingham. Hopkinton looks like they're stuffing the run pretty effective today.
Well, he's tried that inside trap a couple of times, and it's got stuffed all 3 times.
All right, we've got number 21, Goya wide left for Bellingham. Smith drops back to
Drops
pass.
straight back to pass. Let's get a little pass rush.
His intended receiver was number 21, Goya, and he overthrew him. That'll bring up 4th. So I think the change in the quarter really took the wind out of Bellingham.
You're right.
It breaks momentum. I mean, that's the worst thing that can happen to a team is, you know, to stop them. That's why sometimes if a team is having a lot of problems, they'll call a timeout.
Well,
similar to what happens in basketball at the fast break.
Right. But on a defensive standpoint, if you can get one of your interior linemen to make a tackle in the backfield by himself, it really pumps up the defense.
Okay, back deep for Hopkins receiving the punt is number 9, Flannery, and number 84, Aswood. Aswood looks like he's going to be the intended receiver. And the ball is going to be down just shy of the 30-yard line.
You know, you can look at that, and you can hear the coach yelling at Steve to get away from the ball, and he's over there dancing around it. All he needs to take one little bad hop, hit his foot, and it's a live ball.
I think it has something to do with the ball. I think there's a magnet in the...
Yeah, you're right. It's a magnet that the kid's got to go over to it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a look at that one again. Okay, there's the pass. The coverage was there. The pass was thrown high.
Okay, back to action. We've got...
There's Diana up the middle.
He breaks it over the first yard, first down marker. So it'll be 1st and 10 again for Hopkinton.
That's something he needs to do, is allow his big boys up front to do straight ahead blocking, you know, and let's move the ball straight ahead.
I know Coach Hughes said in the paper that, you know, he wanted to establish a passing game to open up the running game. And I think he's effectively doing that at this point in the game. Okay, wide left for Hopkinton is number 9, Flannery, with Libby calling the signals. And the back to pass, and his intended receiver is Robinson.
That's
Picked off by number 30. LaRose on a nice play. So Bellingham comes up with the first turnover, and they capitalize on it. It's just shy of midfield. It's in Hopkinton territory with 7 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the second period. We have an interception. We're going to look at that.
You know, if you look at this replay, it still looks like Greg is taking his time going after the ball.
Yeah, it looks like he almost held up there. And number 30 played the ball just right.
He played the ball, and Greg, you know, figured, well, I can't reach it. Let's slow down, and look what happened.
Another point in football is turnovers. Sometimes you look in the columns, the guy with the most turnovers is usually the loser. So we get Bellingham taking off with 1st and 10 that gives to Jacobs up the middle. Again, he's stuffed.
He's stuffed by Keith Lee. The defensive 3 are working the ball up front there.
Lee, Berry, and Flannery for the defense of Hopkinton.
You know, when you talk about the turnovers, the point that we can make is, if you look at the pros, is the Oakland Raiders or the L.A. Raiders. I mean, they've given the ball up so many times, and they're 0-4.
That's right.
And they've outgained most of their opponents. No matter if you have the ball the whole game, if you don't put any points on the board, you're only going to win.
Yeah, you're gonna, you know, the team with the fewest mistakes is usually the winner. All right, Smith comes up underneath center, takes the snap, and the give is to number 21, Goya, where he's going to be dragged down by Lee in the backfield.
Excellent play by Keith Lee. They got penetration up the middle from Flannery and Lee. Paul took out the interference with the blocking, and Lee cleaned it up with the tackle.
Okay, we're going to see that one again, Ed.
There we go. They're both in the backfield. Paul slows them up, and you can see that Keith Lee cleans them up.
So I guess we could call them the sanitation crew of Hopkinton Hillo defense.
I guess so, today anyways.
All right, Bellingham comes out and surveys the situation with 3rd and 16 to go.
He drops straight back to pass. Oh, it's a screen pass.
It's a middle screen to
He's tackled by Lee. Oh, he stretched out. He stretched out. That could be a fumble. No, they called him down. You know, that's something I stress when we're coaching little kids. If you're falling to the ground because you're getting tackled, never reach out to try and pick up that extra yard, because 9 times out of 10 you're going to fumble it.
That's right. Always keep the ball as close to the body as you can.
That's right.
All right, that'll bring up 4th and 16 and force again Bellingham to punt. We've got Flannery and Aswad deep to receive the punt.
What we could really use here is a block.
Or a bad snap.
Bad snap.
And we got a flag. Okay, Aswad's got the ball for Hopkinton, and he's going to be taken down at about the 25-yard line.
What a mistake.
What you're going to see, if we get to see this one again, is the punter is live, even on a bad snap, and you can't run into the punter.
What a
mistake.
mistake.
To block the ball.
You know, the mistake wasn't the fact that they went after him. The mistake was that they didn't go after the ball. When he goes to kick, you got to go after the ball. You can't go after the kicker, you know? If they didn't went after that ball, they would have blocked it. Now, I don't know if that's an automatic first down or if it's just from the point, 10 yards.
Well, we haven't got that far in referee school yet, so...
Yeah, Scott over here, him and his brother Rusty and one of their other coaches is going to the referee school, so that when Rusty screams at the refs, he knows what he's talking about.
All right, it's still going to be 4th down and 5 for Bellingham because it is a spot foul. It's not an automatic first down.
So is he going to kick it again?
Yeah, Bellingham's going to kick again. They're still set up in the punt formation. They'll have 4th and about 5 to go. But who knows? You could have a fake here, too.
This is the time for the fake. You already did it once. Short snap.
Whoa!
This one's really bad. Away over his head.
He is live now. Okay, he still gets off the kick, but you got Hopkinton players standing all around.
Oh, he touched that ball. It should be spotted. Should be spotted. He touched it about 5 yards up. Okay, we're going to look at that one again. And this kid is unbelievable to get this kick off.
No replay.
Number 55, Doug McCann, is doing the punting duties, and boy, I'll tell you, it takes an awful lot to do what he just did. The ball snapped over his head, turns around, picks it up, and runs about 5 yards, and then decides he's going to kick it.
Right, right.
All right, so we got Hopkinton coming out 1st and 10 on their 45-yard line, or 40-yard line. And they give us to Joe Diana around the left side.
He's got some room.
And he's going to pick up about 7 or 8 yards on the carry.
He's running with some power today. They've given him the ball twice, and both times he's gotten about 8 yards on it. Sometimes I don't like the spins that he does, you know, those spinning and everything else for the extra yard. But as long as it keeps that ball in tight, you know, it's okay. When he spins, I'm just afraid that he's going to get a shot in his ribs or something like that and maybe end up getting hurt.
Okay, we have Hopkinton with 2nd and 1 to go for a first down. Diana and Shirley in the backfield, and the give is to Diana around the left side. And looks like he's got enough for the first down.
Yeah, we'll have to see where they spot it.
Joe Diana, first down.
Yep, they give him the first down.
I notice right now in front of us where we're doing the game that Bellingham is going over the snaps for the punter because they've had 2 bad snaps in a row. All right, so Hopkinton sustains a drive here with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the 2nd period with the score 0-0 still. We got Shirley in the backfield at fullback and Diana tailback, and the gives to Diana around the right side, and he picks up about 2 yards on the carry.
You know, I was looking at their defense over here. They have one deep man. Everybody else is within 3 yards of the ball. It looks like it's wide open for a slant pass. You know, you give that quick slant, or jump pass, whatever you want to call it. Quick dump pass, and there's nobody there between him and the safety.
Knowing Coach Hughes, he's probably lulling these guys to sleep. Okay, we've got Aswad left and Flannery right.
Hand off to Shirley, right up the middle.
And he's going to be short by about 3 yards for the first. It'll bring up third and about 3 for a first down.
Well, if you saw on the play, Dan had a good surge up the middle. Michael Berry came across to trap his man, and he had a block on him, but Dan just couldn't sidestep him. He tried to jump over Michael Berry, and unfortunately didn't make it because he had plenty of room.
Okay, Hopkinton comes out with the ball on their 38, on Bellingham's 38-yard line with 3 yards to go for first. The give again is to Shirley, and he looks like he's going to be just short of the first down.
Yeah, he's about 1.5 yards short, depending on the mark.
Okay, it's going to bring up fourth down and a yard.
A long yard.
A long yard. 1.5 yards. With 3 minutes to go in the second quarter.
I think at this point...
Hopkinton is going to go for it because we still got Libby in a queue and he's not doing the punting for them.
I think at this point, if he kicks it and it goes out of bounds or goes into the end zone, he only thinks...
Okay, we have a timeout. Go ahead, Ed, sorry.
He thinks that, well, if he kicks it, if it goes into the end zone, it's going to come out to the 20, so he's only giving him 20 yards. But my theory, I would kick it, for the simple fact is well, 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Make them use the whole clock if they're going to do a scoring drive. And plus, you never know, you could get down here and they could fumble or an interception.
Well, I'm gonna look at it on the other side. They get the 1.5 yards. Give the ball to either Diana or Shirley. Get the 1.5 yards, and it's going to deflate Bellingham at this point, and probably put Hopkinton in the end zone before the half, which is, to me, a big plus.
Yes.
I mean, I'd like to see one of the teams leading, and obviously being Hopkinton. It'll give Bellingham a lot to think about during halftime.
Well, it's like we said at the beginning of the game. We knew it's going to be a battle. And the guys up front, calling Keith Lee, Paul Flannery's name on defense, they're working out there. And on the other hand, our offensive line is working because we're not calling their defensive lineman's name on these tackles. It's mostly their linebackers or a cornerback coming up.
All right, we've got Hopkinton coming up with 1.5 yards to go, fourth down. And we've got a long snap count, and we've got offsides on.
And it looked like nobody moved. The contact must have been made before the snap of the ball.
Hopefully we can get that back on replay because that was a good call by the Hopkinton coaching staff. That was a long snap count and forced them to make contact.
You know, I talked to the coach, and a little trick that he does when he goes on a long count is he makes the lineman reach back and grab the back of their leg with their hand that isn't on the ground. That's so that will remind them that they're going on the second go or the third go, and it seems to help them because they don't jump off sides.
Okay, so it'll be Hopkinton with the first and 10 off the 35-yard line.
It's a pass. There's a quick fade pass.
Aswad's picked off by number 21, Goya Bellingham. That ball looked like it got hung up in the air.
Yeah, it definitely got hung up in the air. The air took that, or I should say the wind, not the air. But it wasn't thrown deep enough.
It looked like the ball was what we call a wounded duck anyways.
Right. When you throw that pass has to be thrown so that even if your man can't get to it, it's over the cornerback's head and nobody can catch it.
Well, it ends up with the ball being taken on the 20-yard line anyways.
Right. So we get what we wanted in 2 minutes and 34 seconds anyways. But you were right to begin with when you said that first down was a big play, and they were going for all the marbles.
Had that gone, it would have been a plus for Hopkinton.
Do you think he's going to put it up, or is he going to try and grind it out?
I don't know.
He's putting it up.
He's putting it up. Smith is pressured by Flannery and Clark, and he's going to be taken down by number 59, Neil Perry.
Neil Perry come up. made the hit, and the other two guys, should say piled on, but they landed on him. He was complaining to the ref. He was looking for a piling on.
Yeah, we're going to see that one again.
Okay, here we are. He drops straight back. He gets pressure up the middle. Keith Lee does a nice spin move together, get in the back of the line.
Certainly, this is such a gorgeous day. Time for plenty of sports. There's a varsity soccer game on this field after this football game.
Okay, so we got 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the second period. We still have a scoreless game here. It'll be 2nd and 10, 2nd and 11 for Bellingham to see if they can put the ball in the end zone. But I think Hopkinton's defense is definitely doing a superb job today.
Yeah, their front line has come to play. You know, they've probably been reading in the papers all week how this Adam Bernard is 200, 300 pounds. We'll forget the 298, 300 pounds. And their offensive line is, the rest of them are up over 220, 230, whatever. And, you know, it gets a little down. To me, when I played, it would get you more motivated. And it seems that it's done the exact same thing to the Hopkinton defense. It's got their linemen more motivated, and they've come out and they're taking it to this offensive line of Bellingham right now.
Well, I mean, the preseason all in the papers had Bellingham picked to
take it all.
Take it all. And as far as I'm concerned, I think you've got 4 teams to look at. You've got Hopkinton, Westwood, Bellingham, and Holliston.
Yeah.
And to say that just Bellingham is going to take it all is, you know, if they're going to take it, they're going to have to earn it.
The amazing thing is that Hopkinton being such a small town, and here we are in with these towns that, you know, outnumber us pretty big.
Smith drops back to pass, and again, he's got pressure from Clark. He gets the ball off, and it's an incomplete pass, but Clark labeled him.
That's right. And if he got a clean shot on him when he made his initial drive into the backfield, he would have sacked him. He had to break down, and the quarterback rearranged, move to the side.
That's a sophomore. Give him 2 more years or give him another year of playing time, and he'll run right through people like that. But it definitely shows on Smith, number 3 for Bellingham. He took a licking on that one.
Right.
All right, he'll bring up 3rd and 13.
Well, you know what he's going to do. He's going to run it. He's not going to take a chance of an interception with 3rd and 13.
No, and, you know, they're going to give themselves a little more room for punting. Okay, they give us to number 40, Jacobs. Oh, sorry again.
There's a you fake me out.
Me out, it was the option. And we get a flag. Okay, we've got a little extracurricular going on after the play between number 59 of Hopkinton, Perry.
Neil Perry,
and,
yeah.
Number 75, Bernard.
No, I think it was 55.
Well, I didn't see what was going on. I was watching that, but it's definitely on Hopkinton.
You know, that is a big mistake. I mean, Neil's a captain. He shouldn't be making mistakes like that. I don't care what it is, especially on 3rd down. They would have had to punt the ball. They would have gotten the ball back with 1:50 left, 1:55 left. Now, if that's a personal foul after the game, that's an automatic 1st down.
Yeah, it is. It's a dead ball foul, and it's an automatic 1st down. It keeps Bellingham in the game.
Yeah. Well, the way the coach is yelling, it must have been on Adam. I only saw 55 giving Neil a push, but it must have been on number 75, Adam Bernard, that Neil was going after.
All I know is I saw the flag go up, and I saw a couple of people slapping around at each other.
I don't know if that's a mistake. If you pick on the biggest person out there on the field, I think I'd go after the littlest one. But we're playing defense. That's another mistake, that we can't allow mistakes like that because they come back to haunt you towards the end of the game.
Yeah, Hopkins already had 2 turnovers in the game, 2 interceptions, and to give Bellingham another shot.
Well, he hasn't moved the ball on the ground, so he's probably going to put it up now. But now he's going to 1st.
No, he's met at the
There's a fumble.
Scrimmage.
Covered by Paul Flanagan. Hopkinton ball. He took it right out of his hand.
I'd like to see that one again if we can, because I lost complete control of where the ball was.
All I saw is
it almost looked like a guy from Hopkinton was in the backfield.
It looked like he took him right from out of his hand. We had a... Yeah, see, we had a blitz and then the fumble.
Okay, so Hopkinton gets a big break here. The ball on the 26-yard line with 1st and 10 and 1:50 to go in the 2nd quarter. And they
They're going on the
left.
1st down over to...
got enough yardage for the first down. And looks like he gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Okay, now. That was a big play on defense. You know what happened was we had the blitzing linebacker come in. He hit the running back before he could take the ball from the quarterback, and then Paul took it.
Okay, they'll give Hopkinton the ball on the 14-yard line with 1st and 10, and clock running at 1 minute and 40 seconds in the second period. We get Flannery wide right. Libby calling the signals.
Hand off to Shirley, right up the middle. He's still on his feet.
He's going to pick up about 3 yards on the carry. Hopkinton's got plenty of timeouts now. They're going to start taking a few.
Yeah, they just called their first one.
All right, I'm going to get back to the mistakes and turnovers.
Right.
Hopkinton's had 2 turnovers, and Bellingham hasn't been able to capitalize, but Bellingham came up with a big turnover. And Hopkinton looks like they're on the verge of capitalizing on it.
Well, if anything, they're in field goal range. I mean, they
surprised you even want to say that word around here.
Well, they gave him a shot last week at the extra point. He just missed it. I think last week on the field goal try, there's a little bit of controversy over it, at least on my part. Westwood was using the old rosin bag on the sideline, and I asked the ref after the game, and he said that's an illegal thing, but he didn't see it. Now, if anybody knows, you put a wet ball in rosin, and the rosin just soaks up the moisture, and that's just like throwing a dry ball out there, like a brand new ball. It's sticky and everything else. So when they snap for the field goal, that ball is nice and dry, and they can handle it, no problem.
All right, we've got 2nd and about 8. A minute 29 to go in the second period. Hopkinton on their 10 or 11-yard line. Aswad comes out split left, and Shirley and Diana are in the backfield. Going to give us to Diana around the left side where he walks through.
He's down to
defense. He's about the 1-yard line.
You know who they're running at? They're running at Adam Bernard, number 75.
So they're going to take the ball game right to him.
They probably figure we run at him instead of trying to go around him, and we might have better results.
All right, so Hopkinton's got the ball at the 1-yard line with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go, on the verge of scoring.
I was going to say maybe they go to the fridge backfield, but they don't need to.
Stay with the same backfield, Shirley and Diana.
We're on the opposite side this time.
Okay, and the give is going to be to
Same
Diana,
play.
left side, and he's into the score.
Touchdown. That's the same play they just ran. That was the exact same play that they just ran. Good call. Usually last week when they scored the touchdown against Westwood, they put in what they call the fridge backfield, where they move one of their linemen back to fullback and just follow him up the middle.
Like I said, it takes the wind out of your sails. Some dejection on the sidelines of Bellingham right now. Being scored upon 6-0.
John Holden is the kick.
Okay, and we got number 11, Holden, coming in to try the extra point, and Flannery's going to hold for...
Bad-footed kicker.
Snap is good, the kick is up, and it is good.
The kick is good.
So we got Hopkinton leading with 1 minute and 3 seconds to go in the first half, 7-0.
This is what they needed. They needed to score first after the big game last week, where they played it. They did play a heck of a ball game. They just came out on the short end of the stick. A couple of bad calls from referees, as far as I was concerned, that in key points of the game. But Westwood still had to kick the field goal, and they still had to score the touchdown. So you can't take it away from them.
No, you can't take anything away from anyone. I mean, the game was, a hard-fought game. It was pouring, cold.
Yeah.
It was a mud bowl. And the key thing is that Hopkinton came back to play on Saturday. And I think that's a thing that you got to look at. And, let's keep the momentum going and try not to have too many more turnovers. And if they can pick up a few more on Bellingham's side, then, we'll capitalize on it.
Right. Well, what do you think? A squib kick? Or are we going to kick it away?
I certainly wouldn't kick it deep. Back for Bellingham is LaRose, number 30, and number 20.
Well, another thing to be worried about, if you give it a short kick, too, there's still a minute left. Still 60 seconds left.
Yeah, but they're not going to pass with this. Well, they've got the wind at their back. The wind's kind of shifted on me. I was going to say the wind was at their face, but...
The wind has seemed to have picked up in the past 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's switched direction. Okay, we got Shirley doing the kick, and it is a short kick. He's going to be taken by 21. And he's going to be dragged down at his 35-yard line.
We got a flag. We'll have to see what that is.
That's Goyer on the carry.
Have to see what he shows. He ain't showing anything yet. Watch the guy with the white hat.
It's against Bellingham.
Against Bellingham, backs him up in the hole. I think that one was on number 55 this time, because he threw it right at him. The referee threw the flag right at him.
So that'll bring him back 10 yards. It'll be 1st and 10 with the ball on the 26-yard line for Bellingham. They've got just less than a minute to go. With Hopkinton leading in the second quarter, 7-0. So let's see what Mr. Smith has in his bag of tricks. We got Goyer and Jacobs in the backfield.
I think it's time to just run the clock out and
It's reverse to number 30.
Fumble! Fumble! Hopkinton's ball!
Ball's recovered by Hopkinton. Let's get the number on that.
Number 88, Dave Clark.
Well, somebody gave him a good stick. It looks like he coughed the ball right up, so now there's another turnover. 51 seconds to go. Let's go right back on the ground to Diana and Shirley and stick it in.
Okay, we're going to look at that play again. Okay, you can see that somebody makes a stick right there, and then he coughs it up. Looked like Dan Shirley.
All right, we've got Hopkinton coming out with Libby calling the signals. Drops back to passes.
There's a fade to Aswad.
And it's just out of his reach. Just out of his reach.
Just out of his reach. You know, I don't mean to criticize it, but his legs are so long that it doesn't look like he's running full speed. And I know he is. It just doesn't look like it. So, you know, I mean, the coaches always want him to. Come on, Steve, run full speed. You know.
Okay, Steve, so when you're watching this game on Thursday night, don't remember who said that. It was Ed that said this, that you don't look like you're running too fast.
But I know he is.
All right, we've got Hopkinton with 2nd and 10 with the ball on the 27-yard line.
45 seconds left. They got Aswad as a wingback, you know.
Yeah, I know. Okay, they give us to Diana on the left side.
He's got room. He cuts back.
He's going to pick up about 6 yards on it, on the carry. And we get a timeout called by Hopkinton, I hope. Yep,
Hopkinton
we do.
takes a timeout.
Timeout, Hillers.
They must like his blocking. I mean, to move him back to wingback. Maybe that's just a new wrinkle to throw the coach off from the other team, the Bellingham coach. And thinking, well, he's going to come out of the backfield on a pass, so now you cover him with two guys.
If Hopkinton plays this smart, they'll call 2 plays in the huddle. And, you know, let's get the ball to the sideline.
Okay, well,
we're going to run right at, you know, maybe we'll run right back at the right side of their defensive line.
Okay. They just put Aswad back out, and then they brought Jason Flannery in for the wingback spot.
I mean, I've seen Hopkinton take at least 3 timeouts. So they get 5 timeouts a half.
Right.
So, you know, there's plenty of time to put another score in. And boy, what a way to stick a team. You know.
Oh yeah.
Being 2 TDs down.
Especially when they had a minute left and they could have just run it out. But if you notice, a lot of his inside runs are not straight runs. They're inside trap, double handoffs, stuff like that.
A lot of trickery.
Right. Well, a lot of times, if you got a good defensive line, there's no sense of trying to trick them up front. You just run them over.
We've got Aswad split wide right, Diana and Shirley in the backfield, and we've got an offsides again. It'll be on Bellingham.
You know, that's a good play. It doesn't take any time, gives you 5 yards.
That's right, because the clock does not start until the snap.
You know what could be in the back of Coach Hughes' mind? Field goal. I mean, you're talking, you get a couple more, another 5 yards or so, and you get a shot at the field goal.
Excellent call by Coach Hughes using a long snap. And
okay.
We're going to look at that one again.
You know, when you get down this close, and it doesn't take any time off. Doesn't take any time off the clock, and, you know, gives you 5 yards.
Okay, so we got 1st and 10, the ball on the 15-yard line. And we got a timeout being yelled for by Bellingham.
All right. You know, in that formation that they were just lined up in, it looked as though if Aswad, excuse me, did a slant in between the safety and the cornerback, he'd be wide open and there'd be no way to stop him. You throw it a little high, so he's got to go up for it.
Well, I still think that it was a good call by Hughes to, Hughes or Libby, whoever made the call there to go to the long snap and draw him offside. There's no time has been used. It's still 36 seconds left.
Right.
And now we've got Bellingham taking a timeout.
They took the time. They must have saw something in the formation and figured he was going to do something different, not a run or something strange.
Either that or just to, to break momentum.
Right. Yeah, that's true too. I never thought of that. That's why you get paid the big bucks.
That's right. Yep, there's a lot of zeros at the end of my salary. Unfortunately, there's a lot of zeros in front of it.
There's a lot over there. I was going to say there's one big one in front too, right?
All right, we got 36 ticks left on the clock. And Hopkinton leading in the second quarter was 7-0. And knocking on the door again for another score. Got Aswad wide right.
He's rolling out. Give off to Flannery. Going nowhere. How long are they going to let him run back before they blow the whistle?
Well, as long as the back keeps his feet moving, they're gonna let him try to go for it.
Well, I'll tell you, I think that's a terrible spot because he got hit about 3 yards up. He got hit 3 yards up, and they gypped him 3 yards. What I'm trying to say.
But I can't tell you when it's going to be replayed. You have to watch Channel 13 to find out.
And it did take off 11 seconds on the clock too. So that'll bring up second and long, second and 15. How about a draw? Something that Hopkinton hasn't run in any of the series. Bellingham may be thinking pass.
Well, they're thinking pass, but
a nice screen play.
I still like that. Oh, yeah, the screen. I was thinking of the slant because the slant seemed to be open on a couple of these defensive formations that they're lining up. Not a slant that's in tight. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about that's outside here when Steve Aswater lines up to the outside.
All right, well, we're going to soon find out. We've got second and 15 to go with 25 seconds left in the second quarter, and it's a drop back. Libby's got plenty of time. He's got
Jason Flannery, intercepted.
Intercepted by Goya, number 21 again at his own 1 yard line.
Fumble again. Hopkinton's ball.
His ball again, number 44.
Unbelievable.
44, Danny Shirley picks up the loose ball.
It goes from an interception to a fumble back to the line of scrimmage. That's a first down now.
That's correct.
That's 13 seconds left with a first down on our
20-yard line,
25-yard line.
So Hopkins loses 5 yards in the play, but picks up about 3 yards in the carry. We're going to definitely see this one again.
Yeah, here we go. This is an unbelievable play. Jason was wide open in the end. It just seemed as though the guy stepped right in front of him. And I can't believe this when they get up the other end. Guy hits him, and I couldn't pick up the number on that. We got a small screen monitor. I couldn't pick up the number. But anyways, the Hopkinton player just reaches out, grabs his arm, and
coughs it up. So it's a game of turnovers.
And right now, we're on the winning end of the turnovers.
Yep, we've got Hopkinton with first and 10, and we've got Aswad split left. And Libby fakes it going. He's going back for Aswad. Gets the ball loose, and it's out of bounds with 6 seconds left.
He threw that one away.
Yeah, well, it's a smart play.
Well, I haven't come down to too many practices this week. I'm wondering how far a field goal kicker can kick.
Not too far in this wind. The flag is blowing
right at us.
Right at us, and you're talking 25. You're talking a 35-yard field goal.
Right.
At the minimum.
It's like when you shoot pool, you'd have to play the bank. This one here, you'd have to play the wind. You'd have to, angle it so that the wind would blow it back in.
That and maybe have the ball sprout wings. All right, we get Libby calling signals for Hopkinton. We got Aswad split left. He drops back, and he's looking all the way to Aswad.
He's got
Ball's up there, and it's intercepted again by number 21, Goya. He takes it about 1 yard deep in his end zone. He's got some running room around the left side.
He ain't going to make it. That's the end of the half.
And he's going to be taken out of bounds by number 62.
Stu Soares.
And he wipes out a whole host of people on the sideline.
Well, he figures he's going to make the interception. I'm going to make him suffer for it, you know.
Well, that'll exhaust the half. Hopkinton leading 7-0 going into the locker room, and definitely a game of turnovers. There's been at least 4 interceptions by Bellingham, and Goya looks like he's the guy that number 21 who's had all 4.
You know, I'm looking at Bellingham team go up, and if you look, there's a lot of big guys are breathing heavy.
Good.
And then I look over there at the Hopkinton players, and these guys, you know, maybe it's because they're ahead, I don't know. But they have a little bounce still in their step.
Well, I think the other thing, too, is, you know, Hopkinton is...
Well, here's the replay on the interception. Stu really gives it to him just before he steps out of bounds. You knew he wasn't going to go all the way when you could see the wall of people lined up.
Yeah. Hey, but we want to try to make it exciting for the fans at home. All right, so we're going to take a break here at the half with Hopkinton leading 7-0, and when they come back, it'll be Hopkinton receiving the ball. So we'll see it for second half action with the Hillers leading 7-0 against the Bellingham Blackhawks. Leading 7-0 against the Bellingham Blackhawks. And we've got the captains out there for the second half. Paul Flannery, number 50, and number 59, Neil Perry. We're going to shake it up with Bellingham, Ed, and looks like we got a great football game ahead of us here for the second half.
Oh, yeah. The first battle was on... First half was a battle in the front. The linemen really worked hard, both sides of the ball. And it's great to be ahead, 7-0 going into the third quarter. Now it's just up to them to keep up the intensity the rest of the game, and hopefully we can get out of here with a victory.
Yeah, we have, you know, Hopkinton leading with, in the second quarter, scoring first, and then pressuring again with the, just before the half ended there with that weird play with the interception and then fumble, and then Hopkinton having the ball again with about 30 seconds to go.
Wasn't it a crazy last minute of the game?
Yeah, it's been a crazy game. There's been about 4 interceptions through Hopkinton throwing the interceptions, and you've got Bellingham not really capitalizing on them.
Right. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Hopkinton came up with a fumble recovery there and capitalized on it and put the, you know, ball in the end zone.
Well, you know what one of the weird plays was the interception on the goal line. He runs it back and fumbles it on the 20. I mean, that had to be one of the weirdest plays.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, definitely a weird half of football. Yeah. Let's hope it's a little bit less weird.
Yeah. The Bellingham players lined up the ball. He's kicking it on the left hash mark.
Yeah, we got number 59, Brian Cronin, doing the, check that, number 89, Andy Dubowski.
Check that, that's number
39. And the kick goes to Shirley at about his 40-yard line.
He handles the ball well.
He's still going. He's taken down at about the 45-yard line of Hopkinton. So Hopkinton will take over with first and 10.
Well, if you remember last week in the second half, they started to work Shirley. He started running the 5-hole, 6-hole, which is, we talk holes, it's behind the tackles on the right and the left. And they seem to get a lot of power out of it, a lot of running.
Okay, we've got Libby calling the signals for Hopkinton with Shirley and Diana in motion in the backfield. And the give is going to be to Shirley.
Shirley right up the middle.
Picks up about 6 yards on the carry.
That's a good call. They put a motion, you know, no little wrinkle.
6 yards, check that. That was about 3 yards. I didn't go anywhere for the half. Just from our vantage point, things look a little bit longer.
Well, it's what they got to do, you know. They got got to show something a little different. It might be the same play, but they do a little different. Send a man in motion, different formation.
Okay, they'll bring up second down in about 6.
There's the pitch to Diana. Seems like
he goes nowhere.
Yep.
You get a flag dropped, and that'll be usually a personal foul.
That could be a piling on, because it's thrown right on the pile. You know, that could be a personal foul piling on. The Hopkinton players are...
It is against Bellingham.
Yep. What's that signal?
I don't know.
He taps the side of his head. What is he checking to see if there's anything in there or what?
Whatever it is, it's of the long variety, so it's got to be a personal foul.
Wow.
It's a 15-yarder. It could be a hit to the head.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, I thought you guys were going to referee school.
We haven't got the signals yet.
Oh, okay.
You know, we're taking our time with that, Andy.
All right.
All right, it'll bring up first and 10 for Hopkinton with the ball on the 40-yard line. We've got Flannery coming wide right as the flanker.
There's nobody on him. Nobody. Oh,
Now
they just picked him up. I was going to say, man.
Okay, they give us to Diana over the right side.
He's got room. He's got room. Cuts it out. Throw the block.
Okay.
Nice block.
He's going to be taken out of bounds at the 15, about the 10-yard line.
Beautiful run.
Jason Flannery made a beautiful block. Just can't say enough about the block that he made. It sprung Diana for an extra 4 yards to bring the ball down, and we're going to see that one again.
Yeah, you know, another thing here is Jason, when he got down around the corner, he could have made, you know, chopped down on the block. We're going to run that one again, we hope. Here we go. There it is. Joe makes a nice cut to the outside. Then you'll see Flannery come in your picture right here. There. Now, he could have blocked him down below the knees, you know, and that would have been a penalty.
Okay, we're back to live action with Danny Shirley getting the call over the left side of the line, picking up a good 2 yards on the carry.
Okay, we got to get one of those backs out, or the lineman, who's ever supposed to block that linebacker. They're not getting out there because he came over and filled that hole pretty quick.
So Hopkinton's knocking on the door again. They've got the ball just on the just shy of the 10-yard line with 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the third period. They're leading the contest 7-0 at this point. We come out again with Shirley and Diana in the backfield with Libby calling the signals. Flannery at the wing spot on the right. And they give us to Diana around the right side. He's going to be dragged down, picking up about a yard and a half on the carry.
Yeah. That play was ill-fated from the start when that blitzing linebacker comes shooting through. I think it was a safety. I think it was a safety blitz. That was number 19 that come through. When he came through untested and he was chasing Joe down, and now you're running for your life instead of running to gain some yards.
Okay, so it'll bring up third and about 8 for the Hillers. They have a chance to get a first down still. Give us to Jason Flannery on the inside. And he's going to be in for the score. He brings it in from the 11-yard line for a score, bringing Hopkinton to 13-0 at this point. And we're going to have an instant replay on that one.
Yeah, let's look at that one. We had some inside blocking here. There's an inside trap play. Let's see if we can bring it up here. Here we go. I think he falls right behind his brother, Paul, number 50. Yep, that's what he does. Right behind Paul, number 50. Nice shield off block there by Paul. Jason just all he had to do was the last 5 yards was on his own, but the first 10 yards was all blocking.
Excellent play call by the Hopkinton coaching staff.
We got an offside.
Kick is up, and it is no good.
It's no good, so we got an offside. It should be offside white. Offside white. Let's do it over. You know, these kids are always in such a hurry to get off the field. They should look around and see them flags.
The kick was good. I thought the referee had signaled the kick no good.
So that's assessed on the kickoff.
Right.
You know,
but the way the ref had shown it, looked like the kick was no good.
Yeah, I saw that too. Looked like he waved it off.
Nonetheless, we got Hopkinton leading the contest with 7 minutes and 17 seconds in the third quarter to go, 14-0. Hopkinton comes right out and takes it right to the Blackhawks.
tell you, that touchdown run, the camera shot that we got was excellent. It showed the blocking form right up through there. What a play.
And it was a great call, too, because, you know, who would have thought that you went into an inside wing-back trap on that series? It was a great call by the Hopkinton coaching staff.
Yeah, because here you are, you're looking at Diana. Diana's the one doing most of the ball carrying. Shirley, Diana, and then you hand off to Flannery up the middle. Great call.
Okay, back deep for Bellingham is number 20, Bernard, and number 30, LaRose. And doing the kicking for Hopkinton is 44, Shirley. And
it's going to go out. No, he feels it.
Number 19 picks the ball up.
Wow. He is met hard.
By number 42, Franks, and 88, Clark.
Those are a couple of sophomores. They come down there and they leveled him.
And 56 is also in on the stick, too, Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson's a junior.
By number 19, James Thompson.
Now let's see if the defense can rise to the occasion.
Have you had any report on whether Glassman is, you know, going to be back in seeing any action, or is he still out?
I've been trying to look over there to see if he's suited.
I noticed 56 Wilson is in at linebacker where he usually starts. All right, so we've got Bellingham with 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line.
Well, I think he's taken out some of his starting defensive players.
Fumble! And we have it recovered by Bellingham. The defensive pressure by Lee and Berry forced the ball loose off of Smith.
If you notice, he's taken out his big line and put in a quick line.
All right,
okay, we're going to bring that one up again and take another look at that play. Here we go. We're getting a lot of pressure off the middle here. What he did is he took out his starting defensive line, put in get fresh people, and they just blowing by the Bellingham offensive line.
Okay, we've got number 89, Andy Dubowski, wide left, and Smith
another
dropping
pass.
back.
He's getting pressure.
He gets the ball off, and it's a good catch by number 30, LaRose.
Tackled by Moja.
Short of the first down by about, I don't know, short of the first down, way short. He needs 12 more yards to go.
No, he needs 15 yards to go.
All right, 12, 15.
It's in the ballpark, right?
That's right.
You know, I'm looking down at this stake and I'm saying, oh, shoot, he only needs 5 yards. Then I look up here and I see another one a little further up. The coverage was there. You know, Hopkinton mostly does a zone coverage.
So we got Bellingham with 3rd and 15 to go. And number 21 in
Another motion. That usually means a backside. Ooh, that went right through Brian Libby's hands.
Yeah, we've got a flag down.
Foul.
It's going to be on Lee. We get Smith out of bounds. Looks like it was a hit out of bounds.
Yeah, well, the coach is irate from Bellingham. He got a personal foul. So now we're going to have, what, offsetting personal fouls?
That's definite.
Well, the natives are getting restless over here today.
We're still waiting to see what it's really all about.
So we're going to have to see what the man in the white head does now.
Well, I'm just taking in everything right now, and then I'll tell you, it's not a very good place to be sitting on the Bellingham sideline. You've got a lot of upset people.
Well, they give him a first down. Personal foul, then the first down. And then what's on the other personal foul? Do they march that off? Once they get the change set, they mark off the other personal foul, so it makes a 1st and 25.
Right.
First call against the Hillers.
That's the only way you do that, is march it off, one off, and then march the other one off, because if you sit there and try and figure out where the ball's supposed to go, you'd go crazy.
The thing was, is it's, you know, when the flag was thrown on the coach from Bellingham for being irate.
Well, if he isn't careful, he could get another one, because they're past the 30-yard line. They're only supposed to be down to the 30.
I mean, I don't think there was anything intentional by anyone on the Hopkinton side to hurt anybody. I think it's just a, you know.
It was just one of those things. He didn't realize where he was.
Right.
And unfortunately, the quarterback is still down. Yeah, he's up. He probably just got the wind knocked out of him because he looks like he's up and, you know, pretty spry. But now he takes a timeout. If he takes a timeout now, can he send his player back in? I think he's going to read his play as a riot act to get him pumped up.
Yeah, he can.
You know, one thing, I hate to see that because what happened a couple years ago with Ipswich, was it Ipswich or Situate?
Situate, I think it was.
They had one of their players get hurt and they had to take him away in the meat wagon. And he just pumped the other team up so unbelievable that we got blown away after that.
Yeah. I think what's happening is, you know, Bellingham has got to just take a timeout and collect their thoughts here,
Right.
especially their coaching staff.
Right. Well, you know, you know from coaching yourself, even though it's the little kids, the biggest thing that you can do as a coach is to get in the other coach's head.
Right.
And as soon as you're there, and he's mad at you or mad at your team or whatever, you got him. You know you got him.
And, you know, the other thing, too, is you don't like to see any one of your players get hurt. And if you think it's intentional or you think it was done on purpose, that even really, it makes you that much more upset.
Right. Well, I know I've gone on the field screaming at a referee because I thought one of my kids got hurt on purpose.
So we'll see what happens here. We have 1st and 25 with 5 minutes and 39 seconds to go. We're still in the third period with Hopkinton leading 14-0. Let's see what happens if Bellingham comes pumped up, ready to play after the series of stuff that went on. We have a new formation. We have 2 people wide left for Bellingham, 1 wide
Single
right.
backfield.
Definitely into the passing mode. It's a gift to Shannon Jacobs up the middle. He was going to be taken down by 3 Hopkinton ball players. Perry, number 5. 59, and we got people
pushing and shoving up there.
We got another penalty. Things are going to get ugly here, Ed, if stuff doesn't get...
That's right. Well, the referee's got to take control. Now, I don't know who he threw that on. He was looking right at the Bellingham player. But I think he caught the verbal abuse. There's no taunting. You can't taunt. You know, like if you do a big run and a touchdown run and you get up and dance in the other guy's face.
It's going to be against Hopkinton.
Or whatever.
It's offsetting fouls. And now they're taking the captains out here and they're just telling them, look, let's cut the crap and let's start playing some football.
That's right. You're out here to play. You ain't out here to push and shove.
The referee has definitely got to take control of the game.
Okay, we're going to show that one again. This guy, Jacobs, he does a very good run. There's a delayed draw. He cuts it up, and the people have chances to attack. He's a hard man to bring down. It took about 4 or 5 people to bring him down.
Well, he's 6'2", 219. I would say it'd be, you know, quite a chore to take him down.
And he looks a little bit bigger than 219.
Yeah, the handoff
Inside handoff.
Middle. He's going to be short of the first down again. It'll bring up 3rd and about 11.
That's right, 3rd and 11. Now it seems as though our defensive line get a little too deep penetration. You know.
Well, like you said, they've taken out some of their, starters, and they're giving them a breather because I think this game is going to go into the 4th quarter.
Right.
Either way.
And it is a warm day.
It's going to be close.
And it is a warm day for this time of year. We're up over about 75 degrees.
Okay, so we've got Bellingham with 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10 to go for a first, with 4:27 to go in the 3rd period. And we get Smith dropping back to pass.
Drop straight back. Look at a little hold in up there.
Wide open, number 21, Goya. And he's got well enough for the first down, no flags.
Yeah, the coverage was there. The ball was just thrown perfectly, nice and high, so his man could pick it up. Okay, we're going to look at that one again. See if we can bring it up on the screen here. Yeah, here we go. Now, if you notice on this, he does a beautiful fake like he's doing an end around. And the pass is right there. He was the only one that could catch it.
Okay, we're back to live action. Smith calling signals, and they're sustaining a drive here, and the handoff is to number 20.
Up, little holding in there.
Bernard around the left side. Oh, Bernard, that's Goya again, 21 Goya. Picking up a couple of yards on the carry for Bellingham.
I saw a little holding on that offensive line, that left tackle, and man, the ref didn't see it. Let it slide.
I think right now the refs are going to keep their flag in the pocket for a little bit and try not to pump things up any more than what they are right now.
Right, just try and let them play. Oh, I think that's a good thing to do as long as it isn't big infraction.
Right. I mean, there's no sense in getting these guys any more upset than what they are. Okay, we got Goyer in motion. And
They did this before, and it was an inside trap. No, it's pass.
Off to Jacobs, the intended receiver, and it's incomplete on the sideline. And that'll bring up a second down. Bring up a third down.
He did that same play earlier, and it was an inside handoff.
So we get 3rd and 8 with 3 minutes and 11 seconds to go.
This is a big play. You get 3rd and 8. If you make it here, you stop the drive unless they go for it. A sack would be beautiful right now.
Yeah, and they're definitely coming out in their passing formation here. Smith fakes the handoff to LaRoche.
Inside handoff.
Handoff to Goyer, who breaks it around the left-hand side. He's got one play to beat. He's going to be dragged out of bounds past the first down, so they will pick up the first.
That was an excellent call. Excellent call.
25-yard line, where they'll have the ball.
Well, that's how the Bellingham makes their living anyways, is running the ball. That was a beautiful call. Executed very nice inside handoff, a couple of fakes. Okay, well, we're going to bring that one up to look at this one again. He fakes twice anyways that I saw, and it gives to the third guy. It was a beautiful call.
Yeah, he came from the right side of the field. And we've got Bellingham or Hopkinton taking a timeout.
I believe that's a Hopkinton timeout. He wants to regroup his players to try and stop him from scoring.
Not only that, again, I'm going to go back to the momentum thing. This is the first time in the game that Bellingham, except for the first period, when things changed, when the period had expired, and it took Bellingham right out of the game. So I think again, Hopkinton calling a timeout is going to slow things down a little bit, let them. One, they'll catch some breath, and two, it's going to break the momentum of Bellingham.
Right. Well, personally, I don't want to see him score here because I remember last year we won the game, but they had a scoring drive in the 4th quarter. I should say a drive in the 4th quarter of that game, and they almost scored to win.
Well, let's see what happens with Hopkinton.
Yeah.
They're going to come out. They've got to be pumped up now. You notice we've got Berry's back in, and Paul, Flannery, and Lee are back in up at the front. They've gotten their breathers, so let's see what happens. You got number 40, Jacobs, and number 21, Goyer in the backfield for Bellingham. And we've got, looks like it could be an offside with flags everywhere.
Looks like turnabout fair play. They drew Hopkinton offsides. We drew them off a couple of times, and now they drew us off. I guess what works for one will work for another, right? They must, they must be like Hopkinton, going the same count basically all the time. You know when they're coming.
Yeah.
So when they pull that play, you're going to get caught all the time.
So that'll bring up 1st and 5 for Bellingham with the ball on their own 20-yard line, with the ball on the Hopkins 20-yard line. They give this to Jacobs over the right side where he gets maybe a yard and a half on the carry.
Yep. He gets tackled by all 3 guys on that side. Dave clocked the end, come down on him. Paul come over from this nose guard, and Michael Berry didn't move an inch. Looks like he just wants to, power the ball in. But he's going to power it a couple of plays, and then he's going to do a trick play. One of these double handoffs or double fakes or whatever.
Well, we've got a double wide formation with Bellingham right now, 2nd and 4 to go. Faked it to Goyer, and he's dropped back to pass, but he's going to be
sacked.
He's got Lee and Paul Flannery on top of him.
Those 2 boys, they've been playing a heck of a game. The whole game. I mean, the first half, it was every time we mentioned the tackle, it was either Keith Lee or Paul Flannery.
And I'll bring them back a couple of yards, so they're making 3rd, and we're going to look at that one.
Yeah, this is an excellent play. They get penetration up there. Clocky comes in and gives him penetration, makes him scramble, and he scrambles right up into Lee and Flannery. Okay,
we're back live. We get 3rd and about 6 for for Bellingham to get a first.
Oh, it's an inside handoff, and there's Clarkie. Clarkie makes a beautiful play.
And they're going to be well short of the first down. It's going to be 4th and about 4 for a first.
Dave Clark is playing an excellent defense. Well, he's been playing excellent defensive end the whole year. But I mean, he fought off his block, came down the line, and Stu Soares come over and helped him out, and they just dropped him right there.
All right, I would say right here that this is make it or break it for both teams.
Well, it's a 4th down.
4th and 5 to go, 3rd quarter with a minute to go in the 3rd. Bellingham makes it. They sustain their drive. Hopkinton stuffs them. They send a message and saying that this is it. We're not letting you in the end zone the rest of the day.
It looks like, oh, well, they got to watch for that a long count.
Give us the 30. LaRose over the side. He gets the first down, and then probably more than that. It looks like he's going to get in. It's going to be short of a touchdown.
It'll be short of a touchdown.
Short of a touchdown by about, looks like a yard or 2. But it was a good call.
Where was the defensive end on that side?
I think
he either got an excellent block or he just was out to lunch on that one.
I think that's exactly what happened. Was he did get an excellent block because they had the wing back or the flanker. We're going to see that.
Okay, we're going to look at this one again. Okay, here we go. I'm wondering what happened to our defensive end on this play. Because it's just a straight shot. Oh, he just missed it. JD just missed it. He didn't come down fast enough. That was an excellent call. Nice run.
Here. Smith gives to Jacobs up the middle, and he's going to be in for the score. With 16 seconds to go in the 3rd period. We've got Bellingham on the board. Hopkinton still leading 14-6.
Yeah, but you can see the momentum is clearly on Bellingham's side. Hopkinton's going to have to get the ball back and sustain a drive. Whether they score or not, they got to run 4 or 5 first downs.
Well, it goes back to that, that injury of Smith. Seeing what happened as far as the fact that, he got hurt and it pumped his players up.
Right, and then the coach getting a personal foul. I mean, this coach is very close to his players.
Okay, that gives us to Jacobs, and it's a fake. He's going to try an option, and he gets in for the score.
He gets around. He gets around that end. Clarkie tried stretching it out all the way, but he just didn't have enough speed in him to stretch it out to the sideline.
I mean, Smith gives a great fake to Jacobs up the middle and then just takes it out around the right for the 2-point conversion.
He faked me out because I was watching the fullback run up the middle. That was a big play because now a touchdown and the extra point, kick extra point,
wins the ball game.
Wins the ball game. Well, let's see if Hopkinton can come out, build up their own momentum, and move the ball. Like I said, they need, even if they don't score, they need 4 or 5 first downs. Eat up the clock. There's 15 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Then we have the whole 4th quarter to go.
Well, let's see what happens on the kick. I wonder if they'll kick it deep to Aswad or Jason, or they just, let the ball, just kick a squib kick. I don't know. If I was the Hopkinton coaching staff, I hope they've said to these guys up front, be on the lookout for it.
Yeah, well, they should always be on the lookout. They should be ready every single time the ball is kicked. You always assume that the ball is going to be kicked to you.
Okay, back deep for Hopkinton is Aswad 84. And okay, we've got some stuff going on around the field here. We're waiting for the whistle for the referee.
You know what it is? It's a sideline crew. The Bellingham team is having a scuffle with the sideline crew on the chains. I don't know what this is all about.
I don't know what it is, but I saw one of the cops come flying across the field, and I don't know what the problem is, but we better get the stuff squared away on the sidelines with the Bellingham coaching staff.
They're like the Oakland Raiders of the Tri-Valley League, huh?
Well, now we can see why in the papers they call it the Cry-Valley League, because some of the stuff that's going on around here is just utterly ridiculous.
Oh, it looks like one of the people on the stakes got the heave.
He's getting some serious lip action from the local police department. Whoever it is.
Oh, well, we all know the game will be held up until this thing is straightened out. Anyways, to get back to the game, we have to have these guys come out fired up, and we don't need this garbage on the sideline. You know, if they're going to come out, this just delays the game.
One thing I'm going to say, Eddie, is one thing I don't see is any sideline markers on this field. I don't see anything for keeping people out of the team area, and it just gets back to you've got too many people in the team area, you've got too many troublemakers, and they're just ruining the game for the kids.
Well, it looks like they're going to have police protection for the chain crew. That must be a first.
A lot of people come out and volunteer their time, and I'll tell you right now, the guys who, they're doing the cable work, and the guys who are doing the chain crews are all volunteers. All right, we're going to get back to the football game, to what we came here for, and hopefully things will calm down on the sideline. Hey, next week we might have to wear flak vests to this game.
We're bulletproof.
Yeah, we're still waiting for ready to play here, and it's a good thing I don't have a date tonight. Because the way things are going, we may not get out of here till after 4 o'clock.
Okay, we're just waiting for the whistle. Here we go.
Here we go.
Let's play ball.
Let's get ready to rumble.
That's it. Kicks to Diana. Straight up field. Well, that little ruckus on the sideline brought the crowd up a little closer. Now it's going to be a little harder for us to see here.
There's no question about that. Oh, we got 8 seconds left in the third quarter. And we've got Hopkinton still leading the ball game 14-8.
Well, they know what they got to do. Now let's just see if they can do it. Because I know this coach, they call him Coach Cap, and he has, he can build up their momentum. And that can be a good thing, and sometimes it can be a bad thing.
Okay, they give us to Jason on the inside handoff, and he goes around the left-hand side and picks up about 3 yards.
Come on.
3 yards on the carry, it's not bad. 3-4 yards.
I see the Bellingham player taunting him like that. They do that, he's going to get a penalty.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got 14-8 at the end of the third quarter, and
you would think Bellingham is winning.
Yep, but I'll tell you right now, you're in for one heck of a football game in the fourth quarter.
I don't know what they're doing out on the field like that.
You think they had just won the football game, but pretty soon the refs are going to, the refs are getting a little irritated out here.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, I love it. It's momentum. The crowd's into it, their fans are into it, the coach gets them into it. Sometimes, when you get that built up, you get a little overexcited and you do something maybe a little stupid, but you're into it.
One of the things that I wish I could do is take the headset off and go out there and probably some people at home wish I took the headset off too, but this is one of these games where you really want to get into it on the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't when you're trying to do the game.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to yell that we'll throw the flag, on that last play, and I can remember. Okay, let's go. Now it's time.
10 minutes of football to go. Hopkinton leading 14-8, and it definitely is going to be a great.
He picked up 4 yards in that last play, so I mean, their line moved them.
We have 2nd and 7. Hopkinton's got the ball, just shy of midfield. So let's see what happens. Well, you think this is Thanksgiving with the crowd we've got here and everything.
Hand off right up the middle.
Diana's a loose ball, and it's going to be recovered by Bellingham.
Well, that's the biggest turnover right there so far in the game. Okay, we're going to take a look at this one again. Georgia seemed to be fighting for that extra yard, and when he was fighting for that extra yard, he fumbled it. Let's see if we can bring it up. Here we go. He's fighting for the extra yard, and the ball coughs out. We had a chance to recover, we just missed it. Now it's time for Hopkinton to play some defense. They're in a situation here where if they want to be the class of the Tri-Valley League, then they have to prove it.
taking over at 1st and 10 with the ball on the 38-yard line of Hopkinton.
Motion man, inside handoff. He's tackled by Paul Flannery in the backfield. Excellent play. It was an excellent play. He almost took the handoff. We'll get a flag down on the other side. I just missed what he called on that.
Well, it's against Bellingham. So.
It is against Bellingham, that's what I saw, but what was the call?
I don't know, I missed it too.
Maybe he'll show it again. Here we go. Illegal procedure. Decline it. I would decline it too.
Okay, so we get 2nd and 15.
But that's what you need. You need your captains, your senior players
10,
to make the play.
Right.
He was in there so fast he almost took the handoff, for Christ's sake.
Okay, so we get 2nd and 10 with Bellingham, 9 minutes and 35 seconds to go.
There we go.
6 points. Give us to Jacobs up the middle. He's hit hard by number 5 from Hopkinton. Off the monitor. Brian Libby and Brian Pepe, number 28. And he's going to be short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and about 4, 3rd and about 3 to get the first. Okay, we get Bellingham coming up to the line of scrimmage. Dubosky wide right, LaRose left, Jacobs and Goyer in the backfield.
Handoff right up the middle. He gets stuck right at the line of scrimmage. Michael Berry, Brian Libby, Dan Shirley on the tackle.
Okay, we've got a timeout being yelled for by the ref for a measurement, and from where I'm standing, it looks short. They're going to measure this.
You know, this, I don't know how close it is.
We're going to find out how close it is right now. It's short by about 6 inches, so it'll be 4th and 6 inches for a first down. And definitely Bellingham's going to be going for it. So we get 4th down and 6 inches for a first.
We have 4th down and an inch and a half. I just got the official from the sideline crew.
Inch and a half. Okay.
Inch and a half. You know they're probably going to give it to their big guy, or are they going to run around the outside?
Hey, it was me at quarterback sneaking up the middle, get the first. We're going to be right
Let's
down.
see if we get a little quick movement up the middle. Hey, motion, that's it.
We got a legal procedure.
They did a mistake on their part. They tried to draw us off sides, and it backfired.
Well, we're going to let the referee sort it out, but it definitely looked like the left tackle.
Well, it doesn't matter if the defensive player is offside or not. If that ball isn't snapped and he doesn't make contact, and somebody moves on the other side, then that's offsides. That's a motion.
Procedure against Bellingham. So it's 4th down and 5 now, as opposed to 4th down and inch and a half.
Well, at this point in the game, there's 7 minutes and 56 seconds left. We'll have to see whether he's going to go for it or not. The way his defense has been playing, I think I would maybe try and angle it out of bounds inside the 10 or the 20 and do it from there.
I don't know. I'd look for a fake here watching.
Yep.
You know,
well, they're lining up in punt formation, but I certainly ain't liking to see it. There's the fake.
To LaRose.
He's stuffed. He isn't going to make it.
He isn't going to make it.
What a play on defense.
Line of scrimmage. So what we thought would happen happened, and it looks like Paul Flannery getting up on the bottom of the pile, but he's not the whole story, folks. It's just a great defensive play.
Right. Let's see if we can see this one again. That was a great play.
Okay, so Hopkinton takes over with 1st and 10 on their own 42, looks like the 41-yard line.
The phone, it was clicking in and out, you can hear it. Probably. Yeah, so it might be the... He'll get another piece of it, doesn't he?
Okay, we get we'd be calling the signals for Hopkinton. We got Diana and Shirley in the backfield to give us to Diana over the right side.
So he's got some room.
And he's got dragged down at the line of scrimmage. It looked like he was going to bounce it outside, but he got dragged down at the last second.
You know, from this vantage point, it looked like he had room to maybe cut back into the middle. I mean, he cut back into the flow just a little bit, but he would have gotten more yardage.
Right, he picked up a yard on the play. Still trying to find out where the ball is on. It is on the 42-yard line. We've got quite a crowd here from Bellingham.
But once the action started to heat up, they just kind of mingled around the old table here.
What they do, bust them in?
Yeah.
All right, we got Robinson, number 80, wide left, and Flannery, number 9, wide right.
Right up the middle to Shirley.
He breaks it through.
He's going to go. Oh. I couldn't spit it out. I was going to say he's going to go all the way.
Well, I wasn't going to step on you yet. I figured you were getting real excited there. And, we
First down.
Hopefully get to look at that one from the replay booth. Then again, maybe not. We're working out a few bugs here, folks.
Yeah, we're just...
Bear with us. You know, we have instant replay. We're still trying to get...
Yeah, there we go. There's the replay. Nice run by Shirley right up the middle. Beautiful run. What it is we've lost contact with the inside.
Hopkinton gives the inside handoff to Flannery around the left side. He breaks it back through the middle, and he's picking up some serious yardage for a first down. And this is a big, big gainer for Hopkinton right there. First and 10. They pick up about 14 or 15 yards on a first and 10 carry, and looking real good. Jason cut back to the inside.
That's the one he scored the touchdown on.
Exactly. So Hopkinton takes their the sail right out of the wind right out of the sail of Bellingham.
If they could put this ball in right now, it would probably
ice this football game.
Ice it away, yeah. But I'll tell you, this is a battle today.
No question about that. Okay, they give this to Diana on the right side.
He cuts it back in the middle. Good cutback. Runs into his own man. Runs into Keith Lee.
6 or 7 yards per carry now. Like I said at the beginning of the ball game, it comes back down to whose team is the freshest, all right? And I think what Coach Hughes and his staff did was he took some of these ball players out of the game in the third period and gave them a rest. It's a warm day. And Bellingham has not done that.
Even though it was a scoring drive, he still gave him some rest.
Okay, so we've got Hopkinton with first and 10 with the ball on the 20. The give again is to Flannery on that same inside trap play. And this time here, they're not going to get 6 or 7 yards. They'll probably pick up 2 on it.
Right.
So they'll bring up 2nd and 8.
You can't go to the well once too often here. That's got to be a play that comes every now and then.
You know, 2nd and 8, I think what a nice call right here would be a pass off to Aswad or even Robinson. Okay, we've got a timeout on the refs. We're going to have a measurement.
Let's see what how short we are. Or I should say, if it's a first down.
It's short by about, looks like a couple of inches. So it's going to bring up... Brings up 3rd down with 1 to go with the ball situated on the 20-yard line of Hopkinton, of Bellingham.
Do you think they will put in the big backfield for the one play?
No.
I don't think so either. Shirley's doing a very good job blocking up there.
I don't think it's any need to put any big backfield in. I think you got Diana and Shirley are definitely, doing the work along with Jason. They're mixing up. Let's put it right to Bellingham. Let's take it right up the gut.
That's right. Clock's still ticking away. 5 minutes left.
You only need a couple of inches. Quarterback sneak would do it. There's a fumble on the handoff.
He picks it up. He's going to break it away.
He picks up about 7 or 8 yards on the carry.
What a play. I thought he was going to get tackled in the backfield. And bang. He does a little sidestep, a little dance, and he cuts it up the field and picks up about 10 yards.
Well, when he fumbled the snap, he basically gave the defensive line a surge, and we're going to look at that. There it is right there. He fumbles the snap, takes it, picks it up, and picks up about 6 yards on the carry.
That was a fine run. If he'd got by that one man, he would have scored.
So we got Hopkinton on the 1st and goal I can't tell you what yard line it is, but Libby gives the ball to Diana on the right side, and he's going to be taken down.
He got crushed.
By that number 75, 6'3", 300 pounds, Bernard. And it's going to bring up 2nd and 5 for a touchdown.
You know, that was a good run. You know, from this angle, we can't tell if we're on the 5-yard line or it's 2nd and 5 for a first down.
Well, let's see what happens. The give us to Shirley.
The give us to Shirley up the middle. Looks like he picked up about 2. Now, they still do that last thing. I noticed Shirley did it there. When he's falling down, he reaches out there for that 1 extra foot. You know, that's going to cause too many fumbles.
Okay, there it is. We have it on the ball's on about the 2-yard line.
So it's 3rd down and 2. They got 2 plays to put it in. Another thing to think of is if he doesn't get it on this one, should he go for the field goal?
No. Let's put it in the end zone.
Yeah, that's the easiest way.
Yeah. Put it in right here.
There it is. Diana's going to score. Touchdown. Scores right behind Shirley. Beautiful block. Yeah, let's see if we can see this one on replay. Hey, here we go. There's Shirley, lead block. Nice block right there. Just enough so that Joey can slip in the end zone.
Okay, so let's see if Hopkinton, with 3 minutes and 9 seconds to go in the contest, can put it out of reach here with the extra point.
You know, do they run something here that if their defense doesn't move over to this crowd, they can snap the ball? Can somebody run it in?
Yeah, they can, but let's see what happens. This extra point's crucial. We got flags up, and
the extra point is good, but let's see what the flags are. Oh, wait a second. He waved that one. One time he waves it good, and next time he, you know, that one was no good. It looked good from my angle. That's why I was yelling good. Then I seen him waving it.
I mean, it looked like it went through the uprights, but it probably fell short of the crossbar.
But there's flags down. Let's see what the penalty is. We might be doing it over. If Bellingham, well, Bellingham's walking back, so they must have jumped off sides, which they did on the other extra point, which was good. And that gives them another shot.
Okay, so we've got Hopkinton now control of the game here, 20-8 with 3 minutes and 9 seconds to go.
Yeah, but now he's sending in his offense. He's not going for the field goal for the extra point. He's going to try and get 2 and run it in. Now you've only got 1.5 yards as opposed to 3.
Okay, we're waiting to see what the refs are doing here. They're going to sort things out. Exactly what Hopkinton's doing, Eddie. They're going to come out and go for 2 points.
They're going to come out and go for 2 points. I mean, Joey's been getting 2 yards, 3 yards on every carry. That what?
Looks like it's going to go to Shirley.
Yep, this looks like Shirley's ball. No.
Libby with a
nice pass to Greg Robinson. He can't handle it. He hit him in a bad spot, folks, right in the hands. It was right there.
You got a good look at the Coach O'Hara on the sidelines there. I couldn't believe that he dropped it, but hey, these things happen. And I don't know what they're upset about. There's a score on the board of 20 points for Hopkinton and 8 only for Bellingham. And,
well, Bellingham has to score twice.
Yeah.
And it's 3 minutes and 9 seconds left. Anything can happen, but it doesn't look likely.
Well, just, you know, you can't have any letdowns now on defense at all, you know, because Bellingham is a potent offense.
That's right.
Their quarterback, Smith, throws a very good pass. So,
right.
I mean,
on the other hand,
it's an awful lot of time
right.
for a team to come back. I don't want to sound like the...
on the other hand, they do throw the ball well, but they're a run-oriented team. And they're down in a position where they need 2 scores with 3 minutes left,
right.
And now you got to put it up. So it isn't always as easy.
back deep again for Bellingham is number 20, Bernard, and number 30, LaRose, doing receiving duties, and kicking for Hopkinton is number 44, Danny Shirley. You think he's going to kick it deep, or?
I think he's going to kick it the same way he's been kicking it the whole game. Doesn't want to kick it to anybody deep.
He didn't kick it deep, that's for sure, but LaRose is going to have to handle it.
He touched it. He's got to pick it up. Oh, he's way down there.
Brian Pepper.
He's stuck with no place to go. Buried.
Here we go.
Now let's put our defense out there, and the Hopkins defense now is fired up.
Yeah, it was an excellent kick by Danny Shirley. He got the ball, squibbed it, and basically wobbled down to the, almost down to the goal line. LaRose had a little problem there handling it.
Yeah. Well, he had to reach out for it because even if it gets by him and he didn't touch it, it's still a live ball.
Right.
Well, they got 90 yards to go for a score.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
With 2 minutes and 58 seconds left. I mean, anything can happen.
Yep.
Especially a fumble in a recovery.
You got LaRose wide left for Bellingham, and Smith is looking at him
He's
all
looking
the way.
straight back.
And it's going to be good.
Whoa.
He had it in his hands, number 85.
And then Hurd and Libby sandwiched him, and he dropped it.
Number 95, check the number on that, it was number 95. Eric Hathaway, and like you say, they definitely made a sandwich out of him. 2 minutes and 51 seconds to go in the game. Hopkinton leading 20-8, and Bellingham on the ball on the 10-yard line. Second down and 10. There's going to be a lot of unhappy people on this sideline if they come walking out of here with the loss.
Oh, he's dropping straight back to passes. Like I said, you put pressure on him now where he's got to throw.
Dave Clark made an excellent play.
And the quarterback got leveled.
Dave Clark made an excellent play at defensive end, and he stuck his paw up there, his hand, and batted down Smith's pass.
See, like I said just a minute ago, they're a run-oriented team. When you put them in a must-pass situation, you know, it just doesn't work. When you run, and then you throw a pass, then it works. But they're just teeing off. The linemen they're not even playing the run. They're just going after the quarterback.
Right.
A screen pass would work well here.
We're going to tie everything down. The wind's starting to pick up. We get 3rd and 10. Smith's dropping back to pass. He lets it go. And his receiver, it's picked off.
Picked off.
That'll be it for the ball game.
That's Brian Pepe's pickoff.
Very good. So Pepe comes up with a key interception late in the 4th quarter, 20-0. And, you know, Smith brought back the pass, and he caught the bomb. And Pepe playing center field.
And let's see if we'll bring this one up. Yeah, here we go. You know, they're getting pressure on him. So he's getting some pressure up the middle. And he throws it. And Pepe was just in the right spot. He was playing center field. And he picked that ball off.
So Hopkins is going to take the ball over with 2 minutes and 39 seconds on the 25-yard line of Bellingham. Check it. That's going to be the 35-yard line. So give us to Diana around the right side, and he's going to pick up a couple of yards.
I don't know where that number 19 is coming from, but he was blitzing up the middle. He was blitzing up the middle, and he got buried, to say the least.
Okay, so all Hopkinton has to do basically is just, you know, sit on their lead and...
They'll get the 2-minute warning before this play gets snapped.
Well, they don't have to give a 2-minute warning because the clock's official on the field. They don't have to do it.
There's Diana. Nice run.
Picking up 4, 5, 6 yards on the carry, enough for a first down.
You know, he cut that one inside where he looked like he could have gone outside. But I mean, what a great run. He's following his blockers. I like that. I like the running back that gets his hand out in front, and it can almost touch his lead blocker, and then it makes his cut. whether it's inside or outside, and he's running with authority this week.
Okay, so we are getting a 2-minute warning. Looks like Hopkinton's going to wrap this game up. Coming back from I wouldn't say a devastating loss last week, but you know, an upset.
Well, I know one thing. I'm not going to buy the Middlesex paper on a Friday anymore. I mean, against Westwood, they picked us to win. Against Bellingham, they picked us to lose. And I think if we don't read it, we'll be all set.
Now all you have to do is just come to the local cable channel 13, and that'll be it. Enough said. So we've got Libby at quarterback still. The give is going to be to Diana side with a big hole.
Big hole. He cuts it out.
Sure, we have flags all over the place.
He has a beautiful run down about the 1.
Down to the 1-yard line, but we get flags everywhere.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to sort this one out.
When a running back cuts back on the field like that, it's usually his blockers have to rearrange and block the other way, and 9 times out of 10 you get a push in the back or a clip. Let's see what the head ref shows us. Well, he's not showing us anything yet.
All right, while we get a few minutes here, Ed, I want to just go through the list of people that have, you know, been bringing the game to us, bringing the game to the people at home. We get director Jim Turney, playback and audio is done by Greg Wright. Camera crew today is doing an excellent job. Howie Moran, Fred Penniman, Dave Flannery, and Scott Geralt, and I hope I got his name right. And of course ourselves, myself, Scott Flannery, and Ed Flannery, bringing you the color. And working through a few bugs. But by next week, we should be up and running nice and smooth. The give is to Shirley over the middle, and he picks up 7 or 8 yards, 9 yards on the carry. Pretty short of the first down.
I love that play. I love the quick hitter. You hand off your tailback on the outside, and then you just give it to your fullback up the middle.
Right.
That's a beautiful call.
So we have a little less than a minute to go in the ball game. Bellingham's not even calling timeouts. This game is over.
Yep, he hasn't.
He's conceded.
I guess he has, because he isn't calling any timeouts. I know I'd have been using all 5 of them.
Yeah, just to prolong the other coach's chance for savoring the victory. But I'll tell you, what a ball game it has been. Unfortunately, it was marred by some controversial stuff on the sidelines. You can see that the heat's playing a factor here, because you've got a lot of the kids having problems with their hamstrings, their calf muscles, and that's directly related to the fact that, you know, they're losing fluid and not being able to take it in.
Yeah, because Keith Lee just went out and it looks like he got a muscle cramp down there in his calf.
Glassman is the kid who got hurt at the beginning, number 49. He's up and hobbling around on the sidelines.
It must be his knee, because he's really hobbling big time over there.
Hopefully it ain't too serious, something that'll keep him out.
There's 7 seconds left.
We're going to watch the game just tick away. And
there goes the opposing coach over there to shake the hand. I'll tell you, I met him once. He's a very enthusiastic coach. And like I said earlier, he gets his kids behind him 100%.
Well, it's definitely a great football game. And again, can't say enough about the Hopkinton football team. They just really took it to Bellingham and had a great game.
Yep.
So we'll be back next week with Dover Sherburne at home, is it?
Dover Sherburne at home at 1:30. Hope to bring the game to you next week also. We are looking for people to come up and volunteer, so if you're a football person and you'd like to come up and help out, just get a hold of Jim Tierney at the studio, or you can call...
Don't have to be a football person.
Right. Anybody that wants to run a camera, or you can get a hold of me at home, Ed Flannery. The number's 435-2231, and we'll see what we can do for you. Give you a little practice, and then out in the field we go.
You can have a good time. It's definitely a lot of fun putting the game together.
Okay,
that'll do it from Hopkinton High School. The Hillers taking it to the Bellingham Blackhawks, winning 20-8. See you next week at Dover.